This is Jacob from Wager Me This. I obviously have not been live for a while, but I want to do a dice control group of videos just because this has been more of a hot topic on my channel of late. So I'm going to do 10 videos with 10 shots all myself because the truth is, guys, how would I put it? I'm an okay dice controller as dice control goes. I'm okay at it. And I know this because I can use it to win. So I don't always have to play through the dome. I can actually use dice control to win. And so, I think I need to pull that line down on that. Okay? So I'm getting this set up here. Just give me a second. Okay, so how do you get those down? That should be a little better. All right, so is dice control cheating? If it lets you do it, it is not cheating. So there's that. All right, so all I'm going to do here, guys, is first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain personally what I think good dice control is, and then I'm going to do it. All right, so first thing first, in my opinion, good dice control, can't hardly see, huh? See if that's a little better. Can you see those? Ugh. Boy, all right. See if I turn that off. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just trying to get it set up so you guys can actually see the dice. Well, that's not gonna work. Okay. So anyway, I just want to see if we can make out. Okay, we can make them out. All right. So there we go. So two things. First thing first, in my opinion, dice control is not defeating the seven, right? Part of it is minimizing sevens, but it's not defeating the seven. And I think that's a big misconception, or it's a big mistake people make when they try to do dice control. I think all you're doing is you're narrowing down what numbers you should get more often. And the second thing with dice control is I don't think it's a strategy. I think it's a tool. It's a part of your gameplay. Should you practice it if you want to be a good craps player? Hello, Skill. Hello, Ike. Hello, Paradise. Because I didn't say hi to everyone. Should you be a good craps player using dice control or not? If you're going to use it, you should practice it, because if not, it's probably better for you to just roll random if you're not going to practice it, because dice control can work against you if you're playing against the seven. And I'm going to explain that really quick. The hardway set, right, on the on-axis throws on the hardway set, you're giving yourself extra sevens, right? And a lot of people throw the hardway set, so it can work against you as well as for you. So be mindful that to be good at dice control, you have to practice. You absolutely have to practice, and you have to do it religiously. You can't just show up one day and be good at it. Right? So I'm going to go into some of the things in dice control that I don't think really matter, and this is going to be a hot topic for some people. Is one thing I don't think really matters is the set. And even though I just said, now, if you're going to throw the hardway set, this is, in my opinion, the only sets that matter are the hardway sets. Because if you stay on axis with the hardway set with both dice, you're giving yourself more chances to roll sevens. All right? So the idea behind the traditional pendulum throw is that you're trying to stay on axis. right? If you're going to use any other randomized set, you could put it like this: 4, 1, 5, 4. This is going to be just fine. Well, whatever those kind of things, the set doesn't matter. I don't think it matters at all in those kind of things, unless you're directly using the hard way set. And I can go through a couple different sets, and I can prove that as this group of episodes goes on. All right. The other thing that I think doesn't really matter all that much is your stance, your grip, all those kind of things. I don't think they really matter all that much because I've tried it a lot of different ways and my results are very similar no matter how I do it. So the things that I think do matter are velocity of your dice, right? If you do that and it's super hard, that's just random, right? If you do this, that's way less random, all right? And the other thing is how close to the wall can you land your dice to where they'll go bounce, stop. You want them to bounce, stop. In my opinion, the only time you should just be super concerned with staying on axis is if you're shooting for the ATS and you're missing that 2 or that 12. You should be setting one of those numbers on the top and you should be trying to hit it. All right? Now, this is after you've made money. You should not do this until you've made money. All right? So make sure you make money and then go after those. Go after those numbers. If you set the aces or the sixes on top, that means that the other one is on the bottom. So if you throw your dice correctly, a good majority of the time, you're going to get at least one of them. Right? So hopefully you can get a good shot, a perfect style shot in there, and you can land them both. Right? But as far as on axis or off axis, I don't think it matters all that much, unless you're throwing the hard way set. If you're throwing the hard way set, you better go off axis, because otherwise you're going to roll sevens at twice the rate you normally roll them, because there's twice as many sevens on the hard way set. All right? So if you have the threes on top and the twos facing you, this is a traditional hard way set. And here's another thing I want to talk about the hard way set really quick. If you have the sixes and the ones, it's no longer a hard way set because you can't bet the 6 and 1 is hard ways. So the only hard way sets have the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s on them. That's the only real hard way set. If you have the 6s and the 1s, it's no longer a hard way set. Right? You still have the same 7 problem though. So right here, how do you roll a 7 with this 3, right? Comes over here to a 4, right? If you have it over here, it's over here. So that's 2 ways for this to stay on axis, because 3s and 4s would be on axis. That it's 7. You flip them over, you have 2 ways here also. All right? So that's 4 ways to roll, as opposed to if you flip these dice like this, now you just have the 2 ways to roll the 7 on axis. So, in my opinion, the hard way set overall is a set to throw 7s with. All right? So there's going to be some things I say that are somewhat contradictory when I talk about dice sets not really mattering, and then I turn around and say they kind of do, right? It matters if you can throw the dice on axis. Most people cannot, right? So I wouldn't worry about it, right? So here's another thing. These are Mandalay Bay dice. These are from the Mandalay Bay Casino. They are really good. They are barely stamped, just barely. That's why I like them. They're very good dice. They're very true to the casino for all the people that think the dice matter a lot. They don't. Right? Another thing that doesn't matter is the table. Right? And let me tell you why. Hard, bouncy, long, short, this and that. All tables are different. There's no set standard for tables in craps. That's why you find the 6-foot tubs and you find 14, 15, 16-foot monster tables. Right? And all tables in between. So unless you're going to play at the exact same table, at the exact same spot all the time, it doesn't matter. Right? So as long as you're throwing from roughly 7-8 feet, that would be like stick 1, whichever side you go on. If you want to throw further, I would get back to about 10 or 12 feet. That would be like from the end. But wherever you practice from, it doesn't matter. The table size, table quality, bouncy, hard, soft, all those really don't matter. And I can explain to you why. In Blackhawk here, I play on a 16 or 14 foot table. It's huge table. It's way better. There's all kinds of tiny tables in Blackhawk, but the longer table is better for my shot because I have a velocity problem. I tend to throw the dice kind of hard. So the longer table helps me lose a little velocity toward the end. All right. So let's get into it. I'm only going to shoot 10 shooters, okay? And so the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to mark all the shots in white. If I hit a point, I'm going to mark it in green. If I roll in the cum, that way we know what exactly, what I'm saying is if I roll a 7, I'll mark it in the cum. The horn numbers I'll mark here. But I'm not going to put chips out there for money and profit and all that because that's all strategy. We're just talking about dice control. All right, here we go. So I'm going to shoot my favorite set for these 10 shots, all right? And it is the 6.5, 4.2. This has 2 7s directly on it, right? Directly on the set. But I go off axis almost every time, so I don't worry about it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to get it to be what would be like stick left 1, stick left 2-ish. Here we go. Hard 8. Okay, if you guys see how my dice landed right by the wall, it just flipped right over and stopped. These dice went off axis, okay? Obviously, I had a 4 on one dice because I have the 4-2 as one of my sets. But this other one, it went off axis because that 6 is that way. And it's that way every time. Hello, 5s. So, I'm just doing this. I'm going to do 10 videos of 10 shooters. And I'm just going to show my personal success at dice control. This is not everybody's. You guys could get this set, my landing zone, all the things I do, and it could be terrible for you. It's all personalized. You have to practice yourself. Here we go. And there's an 11. Okay. I should get 11s. Okay. So obviously I have a 6 on one dice and a 4-2. So for that 6-5 or the 4-2 to come up as 11, it's not very hard. You know what I mean? It's not hard, difficult to get that out of 11. All right, it makes total sense. And there's the 8, that's the point made. As you guys can see, my dice are stopping really soft. Yes, I live in Colorado. I live in Golden, Colorado right now. This is I'm in Golden. I can see the mountains. 20 minutes from Blackhawk. Come out and roll. See, that was a hard roll. See how hard that roll? It bounced way back here. That's a bad roll, guys, if you're trying to be a dice controller. It's a terrible roll. In my opinion, the only things that really truly matter in dice control are velocity and how close you get them to the wall. You don't want them to bounce and fly into the wall. You want them to hit the wall and die, in my opinion. See how bad that was? And what happened? Now this is a come out 7, so I'm still going to be rolling. But that was terrible. That was awful. See how crazy those dice went? This terrible roll. That was better. They still jumped kind of high, but they stayed where I was aiming. All right, that's a 5-5-10. It's the new point. And guys, I'm going to do 10 separate videos of 10 separate shooters. And what I predict with the 6.5, 4.2 is that I'm not going to get a lot of 4s or 5s. I'm not. From my practice sessions, I get everything this way and up for the huge majority of the time. Every now and then when I'm shooting really, really terribly, I start getting the other numbers. And there's a 7 out, okay? 7 out right there. So that's shot number 1. Let's mark the 7 out. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots. All right? Is that good? No. I do use a pendulum swing for this shot. Is that good? I hit 1 point, right? Is that good? No, not really, right? I didn't hit a ton of box numbers. So actually, overall, this was a terrible shot. This was a terrible shot because I didn't make enough box numbers, because that's where your money is going to be at generally. As a dice controller, you're going to be betting place bets. If you're not going to hit box numbers, you're not going to win. Right? I hit 2 horn numbers, and then I had a point and a point made, so there was 2 extra dead shots. I had 1 come out 7, which would have been a winner, but it would have been a minimal winner. And then I had 1 winner on the board. So most likely, even if you were playing like 96 across, you would have lost about 50 bucks there. Right? That's not good. That's not what you want to do. Unless you were playing a ton of odds on your 8. All right, that's not the things you want. Here we go. All right, that was a great shot. So they both died right there. Perfect shot. Come out 10, hard 10. All right, really good shot. Those are the kind of shots you want. You want them to die. You don't want them to be bouncing all over the table. And now, guys, I'm just talking about being a dice controller. This is all I'm talking about. There's a 5-3-8. That was a pretty bad shot overall. It bounced quite a ways. And that's my velocity problem, guys. I have a really bad velocity problem, especially when I start winning, because then I get excited and my dice I end up, sometimes I'll hit them up on the wall. It's terrible. But that's why it takes practice. Oh, around the table. Sorry, I'm going to get it from behind the table here. All right, here we go. We have, let's get all 5 dice again. These are all Mandalay Bay, all same serial number. Here we go. Three, 2, 5. Okay. You guys can totally see what happened there. Number 1, anytime I get a dice that goes that way, it was a bad shot. Number 2, you saw how that one was bouncing all over the place? That's not what I want. I want them to hit and die. Hit and die. Now I got lucky and rolled a 5. But hit and die. I hit the wall first. That was a terrible shot. 6-1-7. Okay, so here I had 2 winners before a 7. Terrible shot. So if we were playing 96 across every time, we would probably be down about $100 right now. Maybe a little more. All right, let's try it again. 10 shooters. But remember, to be a good dice controller, you only have to be good about 1 out of every 4 shots where you have to make a good shot. Only about 1 out of every 4. Because you're going to be, if you're playing as a dice controller, you're also going to be a presser. All right, there's a come out 7. So it's okay. It's not terrible, it's not great. All right? Hello, Wilson. Mr. Wilson's seen me shoot a bunch of good shots. He can vouch for it. At that same table I was talking about. No, I'm working on a day job right now. Hopefully, I don't have to have one long. All right, here we go. That was a good shot. See how they just died right there? That's a good shot. But I've played quite a few nights now with, or mornings, or whenever it is, with Mr. Wilson there, and I've definitely had some monsters while he's there. But back to what I was saying about only needing, that was too short, way too short. See how short that was? They didn't hit way back here, guys. That is not going to work. All right, so now we would be easily down $175 on a 96 across type play. All right. But you only need about 1 out of every 4 to be good as a dice controller, because you should be playing the light side and you should be pressing. All right? What that means is that when you do get your 15 roller, you'll have to, it's going to build up. You're going to outweigh all of these. And that's the magical economics of gambling. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can look it up. It's called the magical economics of gambling. You can lose, and one win will get it all back. There's the 6. That's a bad shot. See how far they bounced out? And these are, the reason I keep saying they're bad shots, guys, is because they are. From a dice control standpoint, even though it rolled a 6, which is a great number, that was way out here. That was just luck. Right? So that's, you have to practice endlessly to be good at this. All right, there's a 6 right back. Now that was a good 6. Okay, well I was going to get into that later on, Skill, about trying to avoid one single number that's not the 7. But I do think that that's a possibility. I do think it's definitely a possibility to choose one number on the boxes and avoid it. Hard, easy 8. Bad shot. Jumped all over the place on me. And what, son? Okay. But guys, my table would be what most players consider bouncy, and I make it that way on purpose because I want to control what I'm doing. So I want everything against me. Long roll out. 4, 2, 6. Bad shot again. But they're rolling in the right places. That's a good sign. Much better shot. Getting the 3 as opposed to 11 is okay. It just means the dice didn't flip all the way over, most likely. And again, guys, you can slow your video down and you can see the dice jumping all over the place, and you're going like, oh, it's all random. Well, not really, okay? Because the dice can jump all over the place consistently. And that's something that I think the naysayers get wrong. Is they're like, well, when you slow it down in slow motion, they're spinning everywhere. But if you watch all of them, they may be spinning everywhere the same. And I think that that's what happens. And that's why dice controllers win. Now, I'm not talking about Weekend Warrior dice controllers. That was a really short shot. And as you can see, really short equaled 7. Just hit right here. I'm supposed to be hitting here. Hit here, not here. This is what I get. Okay. And just like anything else, like I said at the beginning of the video, this should not be a strategy. Strategy is separate from dice control. Dice control should be a tool, right? And it's also a double-edged sword. You should not let it get in your head to the point where you're constantly believing that you can roll a certain amount of numbers before a 7. Don't fight the 7 with it. Try to figure out where you hit the most and attack there. That was a very good roll. As you guys can see, there was very little action on the dice, and they stopped right there. Next one. Oh, bad roll. And what happened? See? Bad roll. Dice jumped way over here. I threw the dice over here. Threw the dice way over here. How'd they end up over there? Terrible roll. There's a 5-3-8. That last one was a 5-2-7, guys. If you're wondering, if you couldn't tell. All right. I'm using the 6-5-4-2, but again, guys, dice sets are all individual to the person. All right, there's a 9. My dice keep going left. You see how they keep going left? I'm doing something wrong. All right, I'm doing something incorrect. It's most likely a tilt in my hand that's causing them to jump. I'm not landing the dice flat. Oh, wow, that's gonna be bad every time. Hit the side of the table. 4, 3, 7. It's gonna be bad every time when you hit the side of the table. All right. I'll just change the dice. Here we go. And there's a cutout 7. Again, see that dice? See that dice that's way over there? It's not good. These are the things when you're practicing, when you're getting your own information, you guys got to put in your own time to this. There's no person that can train you how to shoot dice. They can help you with some things, and you got to make the adjustments to yours. There you go. There you go. I'm not upset at all with how these dice have rolled out. Oh, there's back-to-back 7s. Because what I said was that I wasn't trying to control the 7. That I said that I was going to get numbers this way. 6, 8, 9, and that's what I've been getting. I think I've had 1 5. I don't think I've had any 4s. Hard 6. Here we go. There's a 12. It's my velocity. If I could train myself out of throwing the dice so hard, that would be 10 times better. Right? There's a 4, 2, 6. I would be 10 times better at this. All right, here we go. There's a good shot. Even though that one rolled to the left over there, that was still a pretty solid shot. All right. Yeah, the humidity. 5, okay, so that's not a great shot for me. I don't normally get 5s. But overall, it's done exactly what I said. I was staying above. Oh, that's short. That was way short. I had way back here. Can't do that, Jacob. It's getting in my head about the velocity and trying to throw it too short. There's the 10. Oh, come here. How'd that end up? That was a weird one. 415. I hit right on the 45 rubber. So that's tricky. I had no idea how that was going to come out. Here we go. Oh, there's the 7 out. That was turning into a good roll. So in that one, we would have actually made some money, which is good. You want to make money. You guys are all laughing, making jokes. Oh, so we have 4, 7 rolls. Okay, here we go. There's a 5. Right when I said I wasn't going to get no 5s, right? Still haven't rolled a 4, which is unusual. I should get some hard 4s every now and then. There's the 8. My velocity's getting a little better. Those were tilted. As you saw, they jumped over. There's an 11. Okay. Another problem that dice control has is that if you're not the only one at the table or the only one shooting, you have to wait. So you lose a rhythm, you lose your velocity, you lose all the things that you're teaching yourself as you're doing it. There's a 6, 4, 10 when it comes back around to you. That's another big problem. That's why you should not use this as a strategy. You should use this as a tool. That was a really good shot. Landed right on that 6-4. Guys, 6-4 is good for me. I put it on the 6-5-4-2. So if I'm hitting 6-4s, it's really good. Four, 3 out. Bad shot. Saw him bounce way up there, hit the wall. Bad shot. All right, so 2 more shots. And I'm gonna do 10 episodes of this, all live. And then you guys can judge me from there. Here we go. There's a 4. That's our first 4. And you guys saw those dice, they jumped almost out of the table. It's not good. But it's not terrible from what I said would happen. And I messed up here. I should have left the chips where they were at. So we'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and look at the video and put down where the numbers I got and all that. 4-1. Four, 5, 6. Okay. 4, 5, 6. Okay, that was a good looking shot. Stopped right there and died. Didn't land in the boxes though. You need them to land in the boxes. You want to be in the box numbers. If you're in the horn numbers and you're not a horn better, there's a 7. And you're not a horn better, it's not doing you any good. Alright, run out of room here. If you're not landing in the boxes, it's not doing you any good. Here we go. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Way too short. Here we go. There's another 5. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to make a little adjustment here. And I'm going to try to throw my dice even closer. So I'm going to add a little velocity to them on my last shot here. That's better. That looked pretty good there. Here we go. Oh yeah, that looked a lot better. Hard 8. Oh, I love it. No, I guys, anyone that's watched me for a while knows that I'm only partially sold on dice control. That I don't think it's something you can use to avoid the 7. And so anyone that's watched me a while knows that. 5, 3, 8. But in my experience, that when you don't play with dice control and you leave it just up to luck, just up to randomness, it's more difficult than not. It's far more difficult. There's 7 out. Okay, so for these 10 shooters, so guys, 10 shooters, I should have between basically 50 and 80 shots if you were playing against the 7. That would be roughly no, I'm back at roughly 6 to 8 feet. And I'm outside when I'm standing on the outside of the table. All right? So, guys, now this isn't what I think. I don't think you can avoid the 7. But if you were trying to avoid the 7, you should have rolled at least 61 shots, at least, right? Because we have 10 shooters. The 7 comes an average of 1 out of 6. All right? Did I avoid it? There's no way there's 61 chips there. There's no way. I mean, there might be, but I doubt it. All right, so let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Right, so if you were trying to avoid the 7, I was 7 shots under. So I was a whole 7 worse than I should be, right? By randomly rolling, right? Now, one thing I messed up on is I should have been just putting the chips on what numbers they hit and leaving them there. That way we could have known. So I'm going to have to go back through the video and count them up. I'll try to put it in the description on what I did. I got an odd number of 5s for myself here. Now, I didn't get very many 4s. I think I got 1 4 out of all those rolls, which is normal. I don't think I got any 2s. I got 1 12, but most of them were up here. I did get a weird number of 5s. How long is my practice rig? It's 6 foot long, but I usually shoot from around 8 feet. But anyway, so for episode 1, I can't remember what I said, 53, I think, shots. So that's what I said at the beginning of the video. Trying to defeat the 7 with dice control is not legitimate. Yeah, I mean, I do pretty good. No, if I would have been at the casino, I'd have been fine because I would have been playing through the don't. I might not have played through the don't on the first couple shots, but after that, I would have definitely got on the don't and been playing it that way. So any point I hit, I would have lost, but everything else I would have won. So, and there were some come out winners and all kinds of stuff. There were some come out losers though too. But overall, from what I saw here, I probably would have been more of a break-even day. If you're not using a full, no, that's absolutely incorrect, right? There's no table that's the same in the whole craps roll. So whatever table you're using is fine. If you're using just the best shooter I know, the very best shooter I know, all he has is a cardboard box with a rubber in it and a felt down. And he just practices 200 shots a day. Every day he gets up, practices 200 shots a day, and this guy can repeatedly smash 6s and 8s. I mean, just repeatedly. He don't even have a real table. But when he goes down to the real table, he does the exact same method every time, same muscle memory, and bam, 6-8, 6-8, 6-8, 6 all day long. So your table doesn't really matter. Not in my personal opinion, not in what I've experienced, right? In Black Hawk alone is a shooter's paradise from a traditional standpoint. Black Hawk has really short tables that are almost all really hard, right? There's a handful of places that have some longer ones, but most of them are short tables that are really hard. So shooters here do really well overall. Overall, they do really well. I've seen way better shooters here than I ever did in Tunica, than I ever did in Arkansas. The shooters here are by far superior, and it's not close. So like I have no problem. I'll be at the table, and it is not uncommon for you to see 4 or 5 good shots out of 6. Out of 6 shooters, to see 4 or 5 shots in the teens. It's not uncommon. And guys, I'm speaking from personal experience of being at the casino playing this stuff. Okay, the average is 12 foot, sure, the average. But 12 foot can mean 11.6 or it can mean 12.6. I mean, there's no standard for table. No, there's not a set standard for any craps table. They can have 8-foot tables, 6-foot tables, 14-foot tables, 16-foot tables, 12-foot tables, 10-foot tables. Just the overall, unless you're playing at the exact same table all the time, then that really doesn't make a difference. Right. I mean, and what I'm getting at is that if you're going to work on dice control, this is what this whole 10 episodes I'm going to do is going to be about. If you're going to work on dice control, in my opinion, quit trying to avoid the 7 and try to figure out which numbers you hit more of. And then, yeah, I like it here. But when you figure out which numbers, and guys, you got to put some effort into this. You got to put some time. You got to record them, guys. When I go get my storage building, I'm going to get my logbooks. I've been telling you guys for 2 years that I was going to show you my logbooks, but I have hundreds of logbooks. Right, hundreds of me. Yeah, I would love to try on your table. But where I just marked down the rolls when I was training myself in Infamy 10. That's right. It is about muscle memory. You're absolutely right. But if you're going to do it, you have to practice it. You have to do it every day. It has to be part of your life. You cannot just show up at the casino and make it happen. I would love it. I would love that, guys. You cannot just appear at the casino one day and be like, you know what? I'm going to put this 3V on here and I'm going to just shoot away and I'm going to be good at this. It just doesn't work. It just does not work. And so I'm going to say this at the end of every video. If you're not willing to put the time in, if you are not willing to put the time and effort that it takes to be good at this, just throw the dice down the table. Just grab them, set them how you want or whatever that's lucky to you, but sling them down the table, because then you're guaranteeing that the 7 will come 16% of the time. If you throw the dice as random and as hard as you can throw them, you can guarantee that in the whole course of your craps career that 7 will show up 16% of the time. Now, it's not one day to the next can be very different, but overall, it's going to be that way. So, if you're not going to be dedicated to it, just throw them down the table. Just chunk them. You're going to do as well or better by doing that, unless you're going to dedicate yourself to dice control. And this is what most of this, yes, you have to put the time and effort in. You have to record it, and you have to be honest with yourself. That's a huge part of it. Don't lie to yourself. Don't cheat yourself. If you throw bad, that's fine. I mean, you can win craps any direction the dice go. There's not a direction the dice go you can't win. So if you're a bad shooter and you're consistently bad, and you know that you can't roll over 3 rolls, and you do it over and over, and you have 10,000 rolls and it's this way, that's fantastic. You know you can't roll more than 3 rolls on average, so don't bet more than 3 rolls. I mean, wow, that's awesome. I lived in Port Angeles for a very small amount of time. Okay, so if you're going to play on the dark side of shooting, right, that's a very different thing. And I've taught a lot of this early on when I teach anything but 10. Guys, anything but 10, I still use it. I still use it a lot. The problem in Colorado is that people shoot well, and I know I keep saying this. But guys, they hit points. They do things here that I didn't see other places. What's up, Bird Dog? I didn't see other places, and it's new to me, so I've had to adjust my game a little bit. But the anything but 10, I have 2 ways to miss the 10, and I'm really good at it, really good at it. And this is what Skill's talking about the 9, right? You can miss the 9, you can miss the 5, you can miss the 4. The 6 and 8 are a little trickier because it's hard to figure out a way to throw that misses them consistently enough. So if I was trying to miss the 6 and 8, in my opinion, I would play the hard 6 and 8, and then I would throw the hard way set at it, because hopefully if you do roll 6 or 8, it'll be the hard one. But as far as missing the 10 goes, guys, I can pick these dice up right now in 3, 2, 2, 3, and the huge majority of the time, I'm going to roll more than 12 rolls before I roll a 10. Does that mean I won't roll a 7? No, I'll probably roll some 7s in there, but I won't roll a 10, right? And the 10, you know, you got 3 ways to roll, so it's 1 out of 12 or 3 out of 36. So if you're not beating 12 for the 9, same way. What is the 9? 9 rolls. You have to beat 9. So if you're not doing better than 9 rolls there, you know, so each one has something. If you're not doing better than that, you're not controlling it. But guys, the truth is you don't try to control against the 7. Either try to control 2 specific numbers that you roll more often, or try to control against an easier number to beat. All right, so I'm going to just shoot these at the 10, the 3, 2, 2, 3, or any variation of. And I haven't done this in a while. Do I think I'm going to roll a 10 within 12 rolls? I do not. I might, but I don't. I don't think I will. If I do roll a 10, it'll be the hard 10. And this is my prediction, is that I'll go at least 12 rolls without rolling one. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong on the first roll. No. 1, 1. Okay, so I'm going to mark them in black because I got all these other chips out here. But this is just controlling. Like all we're doing is I'm going to put this on here because we're trying to control against that number, not the 7, the 10. 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. However you want to set it up. Not very much difference in it. Oh, 7. So second roll got a 7, but it wasn't a 10. So in this case, remember, you'd be laying the 10. So that would have been a win. You would have won right there, which is a great deal. And there's a 5. Hold on, son. 3, 2, 2, 3. You ought to get a few 5s. And there's a 3. Okay. And again, guys, like I said, all I'm saying right here is that I'm just trying to dodge the 10. I'm not trying to say anything else. I'm trying to beat the 7. This is just dodging the 10. And there's aces. I'm all over those baby numbers, huh? All over them. Them don't guys are loving me. Getting those come out winners. And there's a 7 again, so that would have been, bam, another winner. If you were just playing the line and the lay, you'd be killing it. Just dodging the 7. Dodging the 10. That's all you're doing. All right, so I got 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm halfway there. See if I can get 6 more. 9. Uh-oh. That was bad. You don't want to see those ones. You don't want to see the 5s and the 4s. You want to be away from those. And there's an 8. It's not terrible. We got the 2 in there. Here we go. And there's the 4. That's the other side of the 10. Oops. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Oh, we're getting close. Pressure's on. Pressure is on. Oh, there's a 3 again. That was a bad shot. Lucky. Got lucky there. A lot of those little ones. A lot of little ones. Here we go. There's the 8 again, 6, 2. There's the hard 6. We like anything 3 and below on the dice. Can't roll a 10 then. Oh, there's a 3. We are killing that 3. Obviously, guys, I'm there. Just going to roll until I do finally hit a 10 to see where I ended up. There's an 11. It's a bad shot. It was angled, real bad angled. Why can I do this? Because I spent hours and days and thousands of shots practicing this. Over and over and over. There's a 12. Hours, guys. Hours and hours upon hours. And there's the 5. If you guys can see, I'm hitting everything else. I'm not hitting the 10. So does that mean that's skill? Am I doing that on purpose? I'd like to think so. Since I told you I would do it before I throw a shot. There we go, finally lost one. All right, let's see where we end up. Put one red chip out there for the one ugly we rolled. So what did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. My 18th roll was a 10. So essentially, I was 1.5 times as good as the average. And guys, that's just because I've practiced that a lot, all right? And I can consistently beat the 10. I mean, super consistently. The problem is I only get to shoot once every however many shooters. So the anything but 10 doesn't work very well on other shooters. And that's one of the big issues with it, is that it's basically an only shooter strategy. Because you have to, whatever you use, anything but 9, anything but 10, 4, 5, 6, 8, whatever you use, it's only for you. So you don't get to use it on the other players, which sucks. I mean, you can, because you're still going to be at 8% chance to roll that, which is a good percentage. But you're going to have those runs where they go 3 of them in a row. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode 1. It kind of detoured into something else for a minute. Yeah, absolutely. But again, guys, it's simple. It's simple to do these things. Just quit trying to beat the number that the casino decides you can't beat, because there's a reason they decided you can't beat that number. Because they had mathematicians and people that came and said, yeah, they can't beat this number no matter what they do. So quit trying to beat that one. You know, either figure out which numbers you crush, all right? Because you can beat it that way. If you know you roll more 6, 8s, 9s, and 10s, bet those ones. Don't bet the 4 and 5 at all. Just use your money on those. and you hit twice, pull down. Just bet bigger on those, and you're going to be more successful. Or, as we showed with the 10 here, figure out a number that you're good at missing. Figure out a number you're really good at missing and practice missing it. Right? That number should not be the 7. Right? Practice missing the 5, the 4, the 6, the 9, the 10, whatever. Practice missing one of the other ones. Get really good at it. If you can beat its average, right? So the average here is 3 out of 36, 1 out of 12. The average here is 4 out of 36, or 1 out of 9. And the average here is 5 out of 36, which is 5 to 6 or whatever. So if you can roll more than 5 rolls, you can roll 6 rolls before a 6. You're actually beating the 6. And so these are all things you can do. Now it's hard to beat the 6, super hard. Right? Super difficult. Right? But anyways, that's what I got for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching my uploaded videos. I got my camera thing fixed now, so it's going to look normal, not the weird stuff that I was having to use. So that's all fixed. Appreciate you guys for still watching anyway. I know they were terrible. But and I'm glad you guys are liking the Square Pair videos. Them guys are really cool. It's fun to hang out with them. They have a cool table, and they're just really fun to hang out with and play crafts with. So anyways, guys, thank you again. This is Jacob from When'd You Be This, and this is episode 1 of this. I'm going to do 10 of these. All right, and we're going to see where it ends up. All right, and yeah, we make opinions on that. Again, y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all later.